1.
Before my parents introduced rules on household chores, we seemed to cope pretty well. My brother and I were relaxed about who did what. Then my parents drew up this schedule with dates and times on it so that we would know exactly who should do what and when. They said it would stop arguments, but we had never had any. Now we quarrel all the time, and my brother and I refuse to help each other. So rather than helping, the rules mean that we now get on worse than before.
2.
When I was in my first year of secondary school, my parents were concerned about my homework and claimed that my bad marks were due to the amount of time I spent on my computer. We sat down and discussed when I could and couldn't go online. At first, they allowed me just half an hour an evening, and I felt left out at school as I was missing out on all the chats and games. So we sat down again, and I convinced them that an hour a night was fairer and wouldn't interfere with my studies. It's good that we didn't fall out about it, but discussed it sensibly.
3.
My sister and I were always having disagreements about whose turn it was to wash up and things like that. We fell out about it almost every day, so my parents printed up some rules of the house. The rules all referred to things we couldn't do or had to do. My sister and I suggested we should also have rules for our parents. We insisted on having some time each week when we could all sit down to talk or play board games. It's great, and now we all look forward to these moments together.
4.
I don't mind doing housework, and my parents always make sure that my brother and I do the same amount as each other. However, I object to the rules which they impose on us. Neither of us has got a computer in our room, unlike all of our friends, and we have to leave our mobile phones and games consoles in the living room when we go to bed. We've tried to persuade our parents to be a little more relaxed, like other people's parents, but they insist on keeping to these rules. It's ridiculous.
5.
I think the rules my parents have for housework and things like coming home in the evening are fair. I can't complain, and I do less than most of my friends. My brother and I both have jobs to do, although he often complains that they're unfair. I don't blame him, really. I get to do some cooking, which I love, but he has to cut the grass and wash the car. My parents have always been quite traditional in their views on what men and women should do, but my brother cooked them an amazing Chinese meal last Sunday, so I think they might realise that the world is changing.